What's up, people? Welcome to Mini Ments. It's a Mental Health Monday Tuesday production. And this week we'll be talking about holiday stress, but in particular, the family. Before we get started into the details of the family and holiday stress, let me give you a little bit of information. Did you know the peak of heart attacks usually fall around Christmas Day and New Year's Eve? Do you realize that there's a peak of patients in the ER on those days and the morning after? Why? Due to stress. The number one stress being overindulgence of food, alcohol, sweets. All of these things increase heart rate, blood pressure, and insulin levels. Believe it or not, Christmas Day is at the top of the list, followed by the day after Christmas. And number three on the list is New Year's Day. These are deadly days, not just because of stress from food, alcohol, and family, but also due to cold weather. Cold weather is hard on the heart. But we're going to move on. I'll be right back in a few minutes.
I'm back. Okay. We're talking stress today. Stress can really mess with every area within our lives and we may not even realize it. Some of the things that can occur as far as stress is concerned is we can have low energy, headaches, upset stomach, aches, pains, tense muscles, chest pains, rapid heartbeat, insomnia, frequent colds and infections, and a loss of sexual desire. So we need to stay away from that stress. However, stress is one of the most common things that happens during the holiday season. But here's what we also need to keep in mind is the brain. The brain is a complex organ and it controls our thoughts, memories, emotions, touch, motor skills, vision, breathing, temperature, hunger, and every process that regulates our body. Therefore, as we go into this holiday season, let's take a look at some common triggers that can cause us to be stressed, depressed, and miserable instead of joyful and happy as we should be during this time of year. First trigger we're going to talk about is family gatherings. Yes, we love our family, but if we're honest, and we always need to be honest with ourselves, some of them we just don't care that much for or to be around for a long period of time. So, what we need to do is plan to be around the gang in order to have a good time. And here are a few things that can possibly make your family gathering a little bit less stressful. First of all, don't go expecting the worst. Plan for the best. We all know that Uncle Bobo is going to get drunk. We know Auntie Shirley gonna cuss him out. We know cousin Shaquita and nephew Carl is gonna bring their new boo thing. Yeah, they gonna show up. So in order to get through the couple of hours or however many hours we need to be there, we need to plan our time so that we'll be able to enjoy the family as well as do our part in participating. So, one of the things that we need to do is to decide how much time we're going to spend with the family. We need to get there on time. We need to bring what we're supposed to bring, along with our happy, joyful holiday attitude, and start counting down. Okay, that's one way that you can get in, get out, have a good time, and it can still be a memorable occasion. So limit your time. That way, your chances of dealing with some of those things that you don't want to deal with are limited. So your emotions won't be as drained and you can leave, refreshed versus leaving with this, oh my God, I hate going to the holiday events. Okay, anyway, the next one is when it comes to the meal, don't allow yourself to be stressed and stretched to the max. If you're in charge of cooking a certain dish, buy that buy all the ingredients a week in advance. Cook them 2 to 3 days, especially if it's greens. Now, if you're cooking some greens, cook them 2 to 3 days before the holiday. That way, all the seasoning has melded all into the greens, and that pot liquor could be the bomb with that cornbread. But anyway, uh, plan. It's all about planning. And so plan to do this in advance. Now, you know that greens are better, the second and the third day. So, if you're asked to make something at the last minute and you don't have time, don't do it. Take a page out of my book. My favorite word is no, I won't be able to do that, darling. Maybe you can ask someone else because I'm just unable to be able to do that this time. There's nothing wrong with saying no. Saying no protects you. Saying no also gives a definitive answer. That way, no one is sitting around thinking that you're going to do something that you're not. And so you need to be honest with yourself as well as being honest with others. The next thing is, when it comes to Christmas itself, we need to be proactive when it comes to gift giving. Now, gift giving is one of those things, as I said previously, that can, get, and typically does, get most people into debt. Christmas is about love. Christmas is about giving, but it's not about stress. It's not about strain. It's not about impressing someone. It's about showing your love through a token, but you don't have to show that love through a token. Baby, if you can't afford it, don't do it. Be creative. Here's a few ideas that you could use. Here's one thing that I used some years ago because I decided that I am no longer going to stretch myself financially. So you can suggest that the family that they do a grab bag. I know a lot of families who do grab bags. We can set a limit, $30, $40, whatever per person. Perhaps we can reduce the amount of the gift so that you can cover two people. The other idea is that you could be creative if you're a creative type. There was one year that I wrote everyone a personalized poem, but I made it so that they would be able to frame it afterwards if they chose to. In addition to the poem, I gave everyone a pair of the little cute footies, and we all took a picture in the footies, and they had their poem. Some of them framed them, some of them did not. But the point was that I was not going to stress myself out financially or emotionally trying to impress and trying to go above my means in order to be able to fit in order to be able to make everybody all happy about what it is that was given. In the poem, I told them, each one personally, how much I love them and why I love them. And so that's another idea. The other idea you can use is to volunteer. You know, instead of giving our families stuff that they don't necessarily need, why don't we do real giving? And, decide that the family is going to get together and each person donates, let's say, that 20, 30, 40, maybe even $50, depending on what's going on in your family, and we take that money and give it to a charity. Take it to, Pacific Mission Gardens that's here in Chicago. I'm sure they would love to have that donation so that they can feed the homeless that come in and out of there on a regular basis. Giving is the best part. So we need to get away from number 3 or 4, I don't even know where I am now, the over-commercialization of the holidays, because that's not of God. And because it's not of God, that's one of the reasons that we end up being so stressed out. So take some time, sit down as a family, whether it's just your immediate family or whether it's your entire family, whomever it is that you get together with on the holidays, and come up with the decision that we're going to do something different, something that will cause us not to be stressed, something that will cause us to feel good about ourselves, something that will help someone else who has less than, um, because it is about giving. It is about showing love. It's about the pleasure that we get from when we give. Do we realize that there are what we call happy hormones that happen, that occur in our bodies when we actually give? Serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, all these endorphins. They promote feelings of pleasure, happiness, and even love. So, this also assists in some essential processes like your heart rate, your digestion after you've eaten that big unhealthy meal. That's another story. Along with your mood and feelings. So remember, giving is the best part. Okay, that's it for now. That's Mini Mints. Said I wasn't going to be here long. But next week, we're going to discuss seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. Yes, it's a real thing that occurs. Depression during a certain time of year. And until the meantime, keep a healthy, happy, functioning mind. I holla. See, you saw me say it in person. All right. Talk to you next week. Bye bye.